here to answer one question. Should you buy the Zhiyun M20C as a filmmaker in 2024? I have had this light for the last month and I am seriously impressed of how useful this light is and all the different ways you can use it as a filmmaker. So first, I'll be covering exactly what you get with the light and all of its benefits and features. Then I'll share some practical ways to use this light to enhance your filmmaking. And finally, we'll decide whether this is a light worth getting for yourself. Also, huge shout out to Zhiyun for actually sending me this light to review in this video. There is going to be an affiliate link in the description for you to check out in case you do want to pick up this light for yourself. So let's start with what you get with this light and all of its features. So Zhiyun actually sent me the combo version, which actually comes with all these accessories that you see here, which is this barn doors. There's a honeycomb under here. And then behind all of that, there's actually this soft diffusion panel as well. And as you can see, the cool thing about this is that since it is a magnetic system, it all separates pretty easily. You can just grab one piece, take it off, put another piece on. The honeycomb might be the hardest one to take on and off, but otherwise very simple and easy and honestly fun and creative way to actually use these accessories with this light. The only thing I did find confusing is that all these accessories only work when there's the cage on the light. So this actually comes apart, which I'll show you here. You push this little button, releases, and then you actually can take out the internal, which is just the light. Which, by the way, they do sell alone, but it's only about $30 cheaper than this Pro Combo Kit, which comes with all the accessories I just showed you. So I really think it's just worth getting the full combo kit, but I digress. And as you can see, when it's just the body alone, it's no larger than a Post-it note, really. And then if you do put it in the case, which is very simple, just lock it in here. It's not that much bigger. It maybe gets a little bit wider, and there's a little more range when you have the barn doors open and stuff. But really the footprint of this thing is super small and reminds me a lot of the Aperture M20Cs or 20Cs, whatever they're called, which makes a whole lot of sense because that's what this product feels like it's competing against. And I gotta say that Zhiyun did a really good job here. And we'll talk about that now when we go into its features. So this light is a full RGB light, meaning you can get pretty much any color on the spectrum that you want. But of course, it still comes with a daylight balance mode, so you can just simply adjust the color temperature from all the way down to 2500 Kelvin to actually 10,000 Kelvin. You even have fine-tuned control in the color temperature settings by being able to adjust the magenta and green shift as well as color temperature, which is really awesome for matching lights in a scene that you may not have control over, such as a doctor's office or some sort of office building. I really love that it has this huge range of colors because it really allows you to dial in the exact look that you want. And RGB is becoming increasingly popular in filmmaking as an accent light, maybe even as a hair light. So it's just really cool to see manufacturers starting to push that forward and make really awesome lights that have all these RGB capabilities. Speaking of RGB capabilities, this light also comes with a bunch of different effects, which sort of mimic different lighting conditions that may happen on set. For example, you have a flickering bulb, you have a TV mode, which will sort of mimic the flicker that a TV might have, assuming there's some show on it. You of course have police sirens, and they also have a strobe effect, which I'll show just here briefly, as well as the candle effect, which is my personal favorite. They even have these color switch modes that just cycle through different colors, and they also have one for color temperature, so it'll cycle between tungsten, daylight, and the cooler 10,000 Kelvin lights just on a random frequency that you can set. And that's another thing I really like about this light, is that it's really highly customizable. For example, these effects, you can adjust the brightness and frequency, which sort of either enhances or diminishes the amount of times that the effect cycles through. And they even have this cute little music effect mode, which essentially allows the light to react to the sound around it and change and flash colors as needed. So it can be fun as a party tool and sort of create that disco vibe. As previously mentioned, this case is magnetic, and that not only applies to the modifiers in the front, you can actually mount this light using the magnets on the back on different surfaces that obviously are metal. This unlocks a lot of possibilities when it comes to mounting this light. And as we talk about mountings, there are 4 hot shoe mounts around the body of this light, But the only one that has a 1/4" screw is the bottom one, which I wish they had an option to maybe move that or adjust it to the top position in case you wanted to hang this light possibly upside down without having the controls completely be backwards on you. But of course, the great thing about this light is that it is so small that you can also just hand hold it or even mount it on top of your camera. This light does not come with an interchangeable battery. Instead, the battery is built in, but you can use a USB-C to charge it. And depending on the power delivery of the cable and brick that you're using, you may actually be able to use this light while it's plugged in, which is super nice because the runtime on this with the battery at full and the output at full power 100% is only about 40 minutes, which may not be a lot of time depending on the situation you're in. And last but not least, this light can actually be controlled using Zhiyun's app. And you gain all the exact same functionalities as well as a color matching tool, which is super cool, allowing you to actually match the color of any light in your scene pretty much exactly, all just by using your phone's camera and pointing it at that light source and selecting it. This also comes in really handy just in case you do put this light out of reach somewhere. You can still control it via the app with no issues whatsoever and no functionality loss either. I really love the design of this light. I think it looks really cool, but just know because of its open design where the fan internals are sort of exposed through all these vents for the fan to actually help it cool, there's two issues that come up. First one being it's not going to be weatherproof, so if you go out and put this in a situation like in rain or snow or some sort of distressful weather condition, you might actually destroy this light, so definitely be careful. It seems to be more suited for studio use. And second, because of the vents and its design, the fan does kick on and can be a little bit loud. I'll play some clip for you right now that'll give you a sense of its loudness when it was at 100%. But honestly, as long as this is not just directly mounted onto your camera next to the mic at 100% with the fan blasting, it's not really an issue. If you put it anywhere else in the scene, really no one's gonna notice. All right, now let's talk how we can use this light to actually enhance our filmmaking. So I actually have a few use cases for you. The first one being the obvious one, which is just using it as a practical in the scene. So this simply just means having the light source be visible in the scene. As you'll see in this example, I just simply used a magnetized back to put it on my bed head. And some people really like this look, but you can do it any way you like. You can even use this to even paint the background as you see me doing in this example. And if you really want to have fun with this, try to use the RGB modes when you're using it to paint the background, just like I did in this example. Personally, using this light to paint the background is probably the way I'm going to use it the most. But there's some other ways we can take advantage of this light as well. This light can easily be used as either an edge light or a fill light. An edge light is a light behind the subject that sort of outlines them and separates them from the background. You can sort of see me doing this right now in this scene if you looked over my left shoulder and my left side of the face. This orange light I'm putting is a light behind me that sort of allows me to be separated from the background by adding that sort of orange glow on me. The Zhiyun M20C is perfect for this use case as well because it is such a bright light. As you can see in this example, it does a great job of actually outlining me, and this output is only around 50%. And it can also be used as a fill light. So there is my main light that can sometimes create a shadow on this side. The fill light will allow me to sort of reduce the shadows there and make it less dramatic. Just know that this light is, I would say, a much harsher light than some other soft boxes that you can use, but that's why I think it's perfect for a fill or an edge light, because those lights I like to be a little bit on the harder side. If you ever are a run and gun shooter that needs a light on their camera, this is a pretty decent option for a few reasons. One, its versatility, as we previously mentioned. Two, its power. I think I had this at about 50% at about 3 feet in front of the subject, and it lit them up perfectly and evenly. And three, it is super lightweight and compact. So if you do put this on some sort of rig, or you don't put it on a rig, it won't seem out of place on your camera. And honestly, it looks really cool on a camera, which I think is a side benefit. And lastly, I can use this as a mobile light source for product shoots. So you've probably seen these sorts of shots before where there is the product and then a light just comes into frame, illuminating it just for a moment and then getting out of frame. Well, because this light is so portable and easy, you can either just hold the light directly or put it on some sort of stand. Just wave it over your products and you easily got this set up for a mobile lighting kit for those product shots. All right, so now let's talk, is this light right for you? I think this light really benefits someone who wants to take advantage of the creativity that lighting can provide. But if you're more practical or you want a simple setup, then you might not actually need this light. Because let's be honest, all these benefits and features are awesome. The RGB, the different special effects you can use, the way you can mount it using the magnets, everything about it I really do appreciate and love. But those are really meant for things where you're going to be doing creative shoots, whether that be for your filmmaking, maybe a short film, or for a client project where it's more of a documentary style, or maybe even for sports, right? Where you do like that RGB and it sort of enhances the vibe and feeling of those videos. All I'm saying is it really depends. I really wouldn't recommend this light to someone who shoots, say, real estate, but as I previously mentioned, maybe a sports videographer, a product videographer, a YouTuber in this case, because I do think the special effects can add a lot of flair to your videos, and it is a very versatile light for YouTube. And of course, for storytelling and any sort of creative work, maybe music videos and films. Otherwise, if you're a more sanitized corporate environment, I don't think there's a rush to get such a creative light. You may even want to go with the daylight bounds version of it and save yourself like 30-50 bucks. Just know that when you're buying into this light, you're really buying into the whole creative power that it has behind it. You have a ton of features, a ton of different ways to utilize this light, so take advantage of them. If you're not going to take advantage of them, or you don't see yourself really doing all the RGB or trying to set it up for any sort of creative shots or product shots, then you can probably pass on this one. So what do you guys think about this light? I am really impressed by Zhiyun. I actually only known them for gimbals, but to see them come out with such unique and actually very useful lighting products makes me really excited for the filmmaking space. As there's more competition, just means we end up with better products as consumers. I'll definitely be using this light a ton for my filmmaking channel because it is so versatile and super fun with the creative options I have with it. But what I really want to know, are you going to pick this up? Why or why not? Once again, there will be an affiliate link in the comment section below. That is the best way to support this channel at no extra cost to you, and it is greatly appreciated if you do. Thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I really appreciate every single one of you who do. And if you're looking for more gear reviews just like this one, you can go ahead and check out my playlist here. I'll see you there. Peace.